Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. I'm Barry Walsh. It's the American Doofus Show. Don't be a doofus. Not sure what happened there. All of a sudden, the screen froze up. Everything was all right as far as my connections and my internet, and the live went dead, and it just froze up and wouldn't come back on. So my apologies to everyone. Um, Go back and watch that first little few minutes there. I don't want to bore those that may be coming in with repeating everything I was talking about. So go back and check. Um, Go back and check out that little segment that will be posted if it hasn't already posted up of the part one live. Um, a recap in case those of you just are catching this and didn't hear anything I talked about. Talked about the situation with the Breonna Taylor case legally in Louisville. I didn't mention. I mentioned the judge and actually the governor also has strongly recommended the attorney general release everything in the case. And another thing I didn't mention about the Breonna Taylor situation was last night in Louisville at the Attorney General's house, there was a fairly sizable protest outside and very peaceful. And the police came in riot gear, and the situation was negotiated, and the protesters agreed that they would stay off the Attorney General's property and that they would keep one lane of the street open for emergency vehicles and for traffic. And the police said if they would do that, they would withdraw. And both of those things happened, and it was a great example of how to de-escalate potentially volatile situations. And I wanted to mention that was handled well on all sides. I also talked about the fact that I'm trying to get a summit together of potential combatants if things go the route they appear to be going. And again, my hope is always, is that this is just that it's all on the internet. It's all on the internet right now for the most part, and my hope is it just stays on the internet, or even better yet, it disappears, but it doesn't lead into a giant tidal wave of violence that consumes the entire nation, which is a very real possibility if it starts. I mentioned Chris. That's where the tape froze up on me, I believe. A former Department of Defense contractor, has his own international security company, and he said on a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being absolutely nothing happening and 10 being entire chaos, he thought we were probably at a 6 to a 7 right now in the country with the Veritol that is at times launched one upon the other, as we're all American citizens. Some don't like what that means to them at the moment, and that's understandable. But the fact is, we're all in this country, and if we can all unite and work towards making it better, we can't all do it because there's people on all sides that don't want that to happen. But if enough of us unite, we can really make this the country that I think it was always meant to be. And it was always meant to be an inspiration to the world, not a source of constant fear or example of oppression in any way, shape, or form. So I had Apollo on, and again, if you haven't seen these episodes, go back and watch Chris That was titled An Interview That Everyone in America Should Hear. Pardon me. And if you haven't heard the interview last night with Apollo, go back and listen to that. A lot of wisdom in that interview. And the last thing I wanted to talk about before from last week is something I didn't get to that I planned to get to last week. And I plan to talk about threats and targets. One of the reasons I'm trying to get people together is so that people who are potentially going to be combative know who their enemies are and who they aren't. And I think that's important. I know that's important when you start to go to war, especially when you're going to war with people in your own country. And again, that's the last thing anyone should want. So we really don't know who the threats really are. We know that there's a group called the Proud Boys that Biden referred to as the poor boys. And if they were the poor boys, I'd probably be, well, if that was the group, I would definitely be among them, but only as far as economic standards. But in all seriousness, we do know who targets will be if the poop hits the oscillating cooling device. We know all political leaders, and this will probably be at all levels. All political leaders will be targets, all the way from mayors and council people. We already know 2 governors. There have been plots against 2 governors in the United States. Something that in normal times is absolutely unfathomable, but also targets organizational leaders. Grandmaster Jay of the NFAC, Angry Viking of the Angry Viking Patriots. They will be seen as targets by some. Who? We don't know. That's the thing I've been talking about all along. Who's the enemy? Who are each other's enemies? Who is opposing each other? And hopefully there's such a marginal group on both sides that are opposing each other that, let them go fight somewhere, willing combat, and boom, and then we end it, Let's find out what it is, who it is. Police officers, of course, will be targets especially if it's, and I honestly don't think this is going to be a race war. I don't, and I'm thankful for that. I think this is going to be more an extreme right, extreme left. And again, I hope there's such a marginalized group on both sides that basically it won't impact anything on the long term. My fear is that's not going to be the case, but my hope is that it is. All police officers, all banks, all financial institutions, all gun stores, all gas stations, eventually supermarkets, eventually hospitals, because if it gets big enough, you don't want your enemies healing. As horrible as that is to say, but conflict amongst ourselves is a toothpaste that's very hard to put back in the tube once it comes out. So That's what I'm going to be talking about in the coming week. Talking uh, about reaching out, about getting out of your comfort zone. I'm going to be talking about voting, because the election's coming upon us, and I'm going to try to have Mike Selinker back on, and we're going to look at what potentially happens in the world if we indeed have some sort of internal conflict. Again, it would depend on how big the scope, and I hope it's tiny if it happens at all. And it would be on how broad a geographical area. And again, I hope that's minuscule, if at all. So we get some things to talk about that, again, other people don't talk about. And that's what the show's about. And that's why you're great. Tori, hey, what's going on, Tori? True. Shut down DC. No, I have. I've not heard. I haven't heard anything about shut down. A new movement called Shut Down DC. Blasian, your thoughts on Chris only mentioning Antifa and BLM with respect to alleged problematic groups and potential for unrest? I was a little bit taken aback. That's an incredible question, and I was a little bit taken aback about that. Normally, when Chris and I talk, there hasn't been a focus on severity. It's always been in the past. It's always been situational, basically, and a lot of the focus was on the NFAC, and for Chris not to mention NFAC, the New Black Panther Party, the NFAR, the Huey P. Newton Gun Club, other various groups, and focus on BLM and Antifa. I think he might. That's my hope. Is that's what it is. That's what it becomes. That's how marginalized it is. That it is the extremists in the Black Lives Matter Antifa movement, and the extremists in the Proud Boy organization, and that's the only people that are actually angry at each other. And if they actually talk, they probably wouldn't be all that angry at each other. I hear constantly communists. We want to rid the country of communists. And first of all, if you don't agree with fascism, that doesn't make you a communist. Not in any way, shape, or form. It just means you don't agree with the philosophy of fascism. And if there are people that are self-identifying as communists and are in, I know some of the leadership has communist ties in Black Lives Matter, and I don't know. I'm not part of the Black Lives Matter organization. I can't speak for them, but I can wholeheartedly say that Black lives do matter, because they do. So I can approve. Two things can be true at the same time. I can approve and embrace the concept of equality between for anyone in the community of color without being part of Black Lives Matter. So it is something I'm going to be looking at in the coming week, and I'm going to be trying to get some people to talk to me, especially some people with with the Black Lives Matter organization. If I'm not getting things right from people, I want to know about it. And what I'm hearing is there are some heavily armed members of Black Lives Matter, and we'll say on the far left, that are ready for conflict. My hope again is that everybody considers themselves a defensive organization, and no one ever goes on the offense. That would be the absolute best thing to me. True, I don't know about. Let's see, shut down DC. No, I don't know about it. And I'd like to know about it. So I'll Google it when we get done. And if whatever you let me know. I guess from my POV, he did not mention any of the white extremists, including Michigan militia or either the governor, etc. No, he didn't. He didn't mention any white militia. He just said the extreme far right, and that's that's kind of encompassing because the Southern Poverty Law Center is having trouble keeping up with the number of militias that are springing up across the country. So to try to individually list every white militia that could potentially be tied to racism is something I'm going to do in an episode. I'm hoping I have it done by Tuesday because the groups need to be known, and especially by those of us that don't want that attitude to dominate our country. I'll put it that way. Prepper Nation video and shut down DC. Got it. Okay. All right. I will do that. And also I've got Friday. I'm going to try to have, if I can get the cooperation and we can make the logistics work. I'm going to try to have a viewers panel. We've got a unique group of viewers here with free thinkers and people with their own viewpoints, of course, but not afraid to listen to other viewpoints. And I'd like to get between 5 and 7 viewers for a panel and record it Friday and then play it Friday night and be in the comments to answer any questions or to clear up anything that might be a misconception. So if you're watching right now, thank you. And if you'd like to be considered for coming on the panel on Friday, send me an email or send me a message on American Doofus Facebook page, or write something in the comments here or in the comments if you're watching this and you're watching it while it's being, after it's aired live. Again, thank you for doing so. And if you'd like to be considered, hit me up in the comments below. Very rarely do I read the comments, but this time I'm going to because of that. And if you're really serious, send me an email or a message and give me a little background. This is why I think you should hear my perspective, and I want to get different perspectives. Apollo's in the chat. Thank you, and thank you for being on the program last night. Apollo said, if we can get things worked out logistically, he'll be part of the panel. I've reached out to one other viewer already, and I've asked her to be part of the panel. And I'm going to shout out to oh my gosh, and I forgot her name. Well, I apologize for that, but Warrior Captain. I'm sorry, totally. I was just about to, and I could see the little emoji, and I couldn't think of the name. Warrior Captain. I'd like for you to consider being part of the panel and talking with myself and other viewers. And again, we'll do this. I'm going to try to do it Friday, record it Friday, and have it on Friday night. And I'll do it as a premiere on Friday night so that we can have live comments. And if you'd like to consider being part of that, please do so. Outside of that, I'll take a couple of questions if anybody has anything. Do the groups that are potentially known to have racist ideology, are they the ones that do for sure need to be made known right now? I think so. I think that any group that has a known racist bend one way or the other needs to be known before anything kicks off seriously, because there's too much chance for confusion. There's too much chance for people being mistaken and people getting involved that are involved for the wrong reasons. So yes, I really believe that to get to the heart of healing, we've got to find out where the biggest source of the cancers are. That's my opinion. And we again try to marginalize. We're not ever going to wipe it out. Not in my generation either, anyway. But we can sure keep it from festering and spreading. And I personally believe we all should be trying to, no matter what our age, our sex, our demographic, as human beings, we ought to be trying to learn to love each other, respect each other, appreciate each other, instead of constantly succumbing to hating and mistrusting and the ignorance that things on the negative scale lead to. I think the four sures, Joseph. I think the four sures. Hey, Warrior Captain, not going to happen. Okay, that's cool. I just wanted to offer. I think you'd be an intriguing guest to have on for a round table discussion, and it's okay. I appreciate that. Anybody else that does want to be considered, like I said, just let me know. And if I get we get 5 or 7, I've already got one. I've got another one considering it. And again, if you're shy, if you don't want your identity known, as long as I know who you are and I can vouch for your legitimacy, we'll keep everything anonymous if you so desire, and if it's not too big of a pain in the butt. So anybody have anything else before I hop off here and check out Prepper Nation and see what Shutdown DC is about? Thank you all. Thank you for watching. Thank you for hanging in there, and got a good week coming up. Got some stuff coming up. So I just found out that we're still chattel property under civil law. We won't have justice till we fight for human rights. Chris, I'm not sure what that's about, but as far as chattel property under civil law, but it doesn't sound good. I'll look into this. True. Okay. Email is American Doofus, all one word, at gmail.com. American Doofus, all one word, at gmail.com. The Cash App's $ American Doofus, all one word. And the Facebook page is American Doofus, just American Doofus. That's it. And again, I thank you all for watching, and I hope you have a blessed. Chris, look up Black's Law Dictionary. We'll do so. I will. I'll take a look at that and maybe be talking about it here. Thank you all again. I love you all. And again, if you are watching on the replay after the live version, again, thank you for doing so. And consider whether you'd like to be part of a viewers roundtable, part of a panel coming up. And I'm still going to be reaching out, trying to get organizations to at least give me information if they won't come on and talk in person. And I'm running into a lot of egos. Surprise, not. So thank you again. Have a blessed rest of the evening, and take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. By all means, stay alive. It's a dark world, and hopefully it doesn't stay that way forever, but it is right now. And until next time,